You ever have one of those days where you think, well, that's it. I've officially seen it all. Let me tell you when your front door slams open so hard it rattles the hallway, and a woman in her 50s storms into your kitchen waving a clipboard like a medieval mace. You realize, nope, you haven't seen anything yet. Family photos literally shook on the walls. And there she was, face twisted in righteous fury, polyester suit rustling with every aggressive step, that shiny little HOA president pin glinting on her blazer, almost blinding in the afternoon sun streaming through my window. "This is the third violation this month," she shrieked, voice sharp enough to peel paint. "Your grass is half an inch too tall. Your garbage cans were visible for 37 minutes past pickup. And don't even get me started on that eyesore you call a mailbox." I stood frozen at the edge of the living room, coffee mug suspended midair, watching this stranger pace through my kitchen like she owned the deed. She trailed her fingers along the counter, hunting for invisible dust, and when she yanked open my refrigerator, wrinkling her nose like a judge about to sentence me for capital crimes, I swear, I saw my life flash before my eyes. I finally found my voice. "Excuse me, yo, need to leave." "Now." She spun around like she'd practiced this scene in the mirror, bleached hair swinging, voice booming. "I am Karen Thompson, president of the Willowbrook HOA, and I have every right to inspect properties for compliance." She reached for my phone, probably hoping to snap photographic evidence of some imaginary crime. And let me tell you, old instincts kicked in. I didn't work 2 decades as a detective without learning to read a situation. "Ma'am," I said, letting my voice settle into that calm, measured tone I use to de-escalate hostage situations, "you just committed a felony." "Yeah, that's my life now. My name's James Morrison. I moved here 3 weeks ago, hung up my badge for a quieter life, barbecues and garden work, a little peace and quiet after 20 years on the force." But Karen Thompson? She had other plans. The second I unloaded my moving boxes, she was on me like a bloodhound. The mailbox was 2 inches too low, the driveway supposedly contaminated by a microscopic oil stain, the American flag on my porch, she claimed, wasn't the correct shade of blue. Seriously, I try to play nice. Listen politely as she rattled off HOA infractions that would make even a DMV employee roll their eyes. The neighbors warned me. "That's just Karen," they'd say with this look like veterans swapping war stories. "She thinks she runs a military base. 5 years running this place, and nobody's challenged her." I figured, hey, I've handled tougher folks before. What's one overzealous HOA president? Then came the barbecue. I hosted a little cookout, neighbors, burgers, some classic rock. We wrapped before 8 well within noise rules. At 6:30 sharp, here comes Karen, tape measure in hand, pacing my backyard like a building inspector from hell. 4.7 feet, she announced, measuring the distance between my grill and the property line. HOA rules clearly say 5 feet. And after that, it was psychological warfare. Anonymous notes started popping up on my door, all caps, aggressive. "Your hedges are asymmetrical. Your doormat is not regulation brown. Your car faced the wrong direction for 14 minutes. She started taking photos over my fence, the flash popping at all hours, and one night, I caught her on a stepladder, peering into my garage like some nosy raccoon in pearls. Well, I called her out. She said she was documenting architectural inconsistencies. She didn't stop there. Next thing I know, there's a Facebook group dedicated to my violations. She even photoshopped my yard to look dead and posted it for the whole neighborhood. People I'd never even met were gossiping about my so-called crimes. It was getting to me, I'll admit. The day it all blew up, I was out back replacing fence boards, noise canceling headphones on, classic rock humming. I never heard her come in. Karen must have been watching, waiting. She saw the door unlocked, saw me go out, and slipped inside. For her, my home was just another rule to conquer. 45 minutes later, sweat-soaked and craving cold water, I walked in and froze. There she was, hunched over my dining table, sorting through my mail and bills, snapping pictures with her phone. My drawers were hanging open. My calendar was flipped. Even my mother's birthday card had been pulled out. I didn't raise my voice. I just let it drop to that cold, flat register that used to make grown men confess. What exactly do you think you're doing? She puffed up, clutching her clipboard like a shield. I'm conducting a lawful HOA inspection. You've been reported for multiple violations, and I have the authority to investigate. I pulled out my phone, started recording. No, Karen, you have zero authority to enter my house. That's called breaking and entering. Also trespassing. Also invasion of privacy. Depending on what you're photographing, we might be talking identity theft. She barked out a laugh. Don't be ridiculous. The HOA charter gives me full inspection rights. I just stared at her, arms crossed. Really? Show me the line that says you can walk into someone's home without their consent. Go on. I'll wait. Her face turned the color of boiled lobster, fumbling through papers like a magician looking for a disappearing card. It's implied, she finally blurted. How else am I supposed to ensure compliance if I can't check inside? I took out my wallet and flipped open my badge. The effect was instant. Her whole face drained to chalk white. Detective James Morrison. It read 20 years, City Police. You're a cop, she whispered, voice suddenly tiny. That's right, I said, nodding toward the security camera in the living room. That camera? Been rolling since you kicked in my front door. The kitchen one, too. And the one by the door caught you coming in, clear as day. Her clipboard fell to the floor with a smack. Now her bravado was gone, replaced by the wild-eyed panic I've seen 100 times. This is a misunderstanding. I knocked. I thought I heard you say to come in from the backyard. I just raised an eyebrow. Through noise-canceling headphones? That's impressive, Karen. I pulled out my work phone, dialing. She blanched. Wait, we can work this out. I'll leave right now. We can pretend this never happened. That's not how crime works, I said, as calm as ever. You don't get to commit a felony and walk away just because you got caught. I brought the phone to my ear. Dispatch. This is Detective Morrison, badge 4729. I need units at my address for a burglary in progress. Suspect is still on scene. She collapsed into a chair, mascara starting to run as she realized it was over. Please. I have a reputation. I run a real estate agency. This will ruin me, she begged. You should have thought about that before breaking into a police officer's house. Or anyone's house, for that matter. My badge doesn't make this worse. It just means I know exactly what you're up against. Sirens started wailing down the street. Karen heard it, too. I'll resign from the HOA, she sobbed. I'll approve all your violations. I'll even pay for your new fence. You're really not getting this, I said as the officers walked in. This isn't about HOA politics. This is about the law. I showed the officers the footage. Their faces went from neutral to stunned in seconds as they watched Karen rifling through my mail and drawers. Officer Martinez turned to her, voice professional but firm. Ma'am, I need you to stand and put your hands behind your back. You can't arrest me, she shrieked. I'm the HOA president. I know the mayor. My husband's a lawyer. None of that matters right now, Martinez said, snapping the cuffs on. You're under arrest for criminal trespass and unlawful entry. That sound of handcuffs clicking shut was like a gavel coming down in my dining room. Karen thrashed, spitting. This is ridiculous. It's his word against mine. I just held up my phone. Actually, it's your actions against high-def video evidence. They let her out the door, but not before she threw me one last glare. You'll regret this. I'll sue you. The HOA will make your life hell. I smiled and waved, looking forward to it. The neighborhood poured out to watch the spectacle. Folks who'd suffered under her reign for years now stood on their lawns, some smiling, some clapping. Mrs. Chinford down the street started a slow clap. Bob across the way raised his beer in salute. It was, honestly, one of the more satisfying moments of my life. The DA moved fast. My footage, plus witness statements from neighbors who'd seen Karen enter, left no room for debate. She was charged with criminal trespass, unlawful entry, even attempted identity theft for the photos she took of my documents. Max penalty? 3 years in prison, 25 grand in fines. Her husband scrambled to cut a deal, but the prosecutor wouldn't budge. Too many victims, too many years. 2 months later, Karen stood before the judge's shoulders hunched, voice gone. 1 year of probation, $5,000 in fines, 200 hours of community service. But honestly, the real punishment wasn't the law. It was losing everything she'd built on intimidation. The HOA board booted her the next day. She sat in the back, cheeks streaked with tears, as neighbor after neighbor told their stories: years of harassment, tape measures, late-night notes. Her real estate agency dropped her within a week, reputation in tatters. The cherry on top? Local papers splashed her mugshot across the front page. HOA president arrested for breaking into officer's home. The woman who once ruled the block with a clipboard and a tape measure now sat powerless. All that fake authority gone for good. So let me ask you, what do you think? Was justice served? Have you ever dealt with someone like Karen, who thought the rules only applied to everyone else? Drop your story in the comments. Let's hear how you handled it, or if you think I went too far and hold back. And hey, if you want more wild stories like this, hit that subscribe button. I've got plenty more where that came from.